I'm Sarah Watley, Professor of Dance, and I was Principal Investigator on the Siobhan Davies Replay Digital Archive project. So the Siobhan Davies Digital Archive project began in 2007. It was funded by the Arts and Humanities Research Council Resource Enhancement Scheme in acknowledgement that we have very few resources for researchers to draw on in the area of intangible cultural heritage, particularly dance. Siobhan Davies is one of the UK's leading contemporary dance artists. She's been working right from the beginning, the birth of contemporary dance, modern dance in this country. So she's an excellent focus for this work. And we built the archive in collaboration with Siobhan Davies and her company because they, of course, held most of the assets, the content that we needed. But right from the beginning, it was very important for us that if we were building an archive, something that was going to preserve all of the body of her work up until, and continuing on into the future, that it should be made as accessible as possible. And therefore we decided that it needed to be online, it needed to be a digital resource. And then began the journey of what that meant, because of course putting everything online isn't a simple or neutral process. Lots of decisions had to be made right from the beginning. Technical issues to do with how do we build a back end that's going to support this work, what's the metadata structure going to be so people can find the content, and importantly, what was the design going to be of it? So what was the front end going to be, the interface for the user, so that it would be as attractive as possible, and importantly, available for everybody. So although principally a research resource, it should be available for the casual viewer, for viewers who are interested in the arts in general, who might even find her work almost by accident, and then discover lots of information, lots of content related to dance that they perhaps wouldn't even know was there. As we were building the archive, we wanted to think about how we could experiment with different kinds of tools to support users doing things with it. Because quickly in our research we realised that building digital resources is one thing, but actually encouraging people to use it in a meaningful and generative way, we need to do some work on building the right kinds of tools. So we built into the archive a fairly simple and straightforward scrapbook tool, but one that turned out to be very valuable for users who were then able to collect their searches and tell their own stories of those searches that they'd built, and how those stories then revealed new knowledge that otherwise would not have been available had they simply seen individual items within the archive. Another tool that we really enjoyed building was something we call the kitchen, which was very experimental, and really they're prototypes, but they're ways of demonstrating how digital tools and digital technologies can reveal something of the complex and deeply interesting compositional processes that are involved in making work, making choreography. So those kitchens include lots of the sketchbooks, the notebooks of the artists, all of the artists involved, whether they're designers, performers, composers, the choreographer herself. So how do all those traces of a making process that often mostly disappear once the final performance is out in the world, all of that information disappears and it's not available to us as the visitor, the user, the audience. So we wanted to find a way that was attractive, easily searchable, and could encourage a user into finding out more about all of that deeply interesting and complex process of dance making.